We're going to go to Demra Vita-Ganley. Demra's a PD dance instructor here. She was graduated from UCSC, where she studied. Now I just think this is just a wonderful study program. If you're stuck for 4 years at a beautiful university campus. Let's see. Okay. Anthropology, women's studies, and performance. And I'm going to ask her to do a little, no, I wouldn't do that to you. But the Dance for PD program here is built on one fundamental premise, and that is that professionally trained dancers are movement experts whose knowledge is useful to persons who have Parkinson's disease, and that seems to make a lot of sense to me. So, Demra, would you come up here and...
Thank you so much for having me. So again, my name's Damara, and I have the pleasure of coming here most every Tuesday, and the Parkinson's Institute has generously allowed us to turn this room into a dance studio. So we thank them very much for that. So Mary Oliver says that nothing will dazzle you like the dreams of your body. And having made the last 10 years of my life my living as a professional dancer, I can say that's true. I dance with 2 San Francisco-based dance companies, Joe Good Performance Group and Project Vandaloop. And with them, I've had an opportunity to travel all over the world. But I would say that my most favorite magical moments happen right here in this room. And it continues to remind me that the way that dance can bring us together into a community of connected human beings is a beautiful and enriching experience. So let me tell you a little bit about what Dance for PD is. It started in New York with the Mark Morris Dance Group and the Brooklyn Parkinson's Group. They got together around in 2001, and they said, you know, professional dancers make their whole lives are built around movement and using their eyes and their ears and touch and imagination to create meaning and to initiate movement. So why don't we take what professional dancers do already and adapt that into for a community of people with Parkinson's? So they did. And then several years ago, I was invited to take part in a training with them, and I was so inspired that I've been teaching ever since. So as Bill mentioned, it is built on that fundamental premise that professional dancers are movement experts. But I think each class is unique to the teacher. Even though it's all, we do follow the Mark Morris model of Dance for PD. What I bring is what I call the virtuosity of experience. So from warm-ups to phrases to improvisational structures, I encourage the participants to inhabit their bodies as fully and as expressively as possible. And it's not about doing the movements right or correctly, it's about digging into your own experience of moving and trying to find some enjoyment and pleasure in that, and meaning in that, and inspiration in that, and with each other. So we use, of course, music is the primary inspirational structure, but we also use poetry and text and song and rhythm. I'll teach phrases from some of the work that I'm performing, if that's applicable. And we basically cavort with joy and humor, and also I think in an hour and a half we're able to be moved to tears from laughter and also just from meaning and connectivity. So I aim to cultivate a class where people can inspire themselves and inspire each other. And that's the main aim in my classes. So we usually start seated in a circle, and I think that something about that ancient configuration says something about the purpose of these classes, that creativity comes from connectivity. But I thought we'd do a little warm-up, like a little tiny segment, a taste of what we do in our classes. And I know we're facing front and not in a circle, but if you're willing, will you let me guide you in a small sun salutation, some of the first things that we do before we start our full hour class. And then there's a few people here who are in the class who I thought might be willing to come up and we would share with you some of what we're rehearsing for a fall sharing that we're doing on October 25th. Yeah? Okay. They say yes, they might be willing to. So let's start with our sun salutation and then we'll go from there.
So make sure that your feet are firmly planted in the ground, reaching down into the heart of the earth, and that your head is floating up and through the sky, and up, out, and into the galaxy. So it's as if, and Richard, would you turn it down just a little bit, the music? Thank you. So as if your head could just pop right through the ceiling, and it's out there floating in the clouds. So you have a downward gravitational pull of your feet into the earth, and your head is up and into the clouds. And your spine has a natural growth the way that a plant would reach for the sunlight. So it's not about effort or work, but just the natural invitation of growth and lifting upwards in life. And from there, you're going to bring your inhale. The inhale is going to bring your fingers up into the sky. And you're going to follow your fingers with your eyes, reaching up. And then bring the palms together, bring them down, and reaching into the heart. Good. We're going to do that one more time. See if you can get a lush, juicy breath to bring your arms up, up, up into the sky, reaching for the sun. Palms come together, bring them down into the heart center, and your spine is growing up nice and long. Good. We're going to dolphin dive up and over. Our hands are going to come to the knees, and we're going to let our head hang heavy and down so the spine is getting a nice long stretch. Then we're going to roll up from there, from the base of the spine, and we're going to create, our spines are going to become like the seaweed under Elkhorn Slough, and they're going to ripple forward. So we're rolling and rippling forward. Head is the last thing. And again, rolling up pearl by precious pearl of your spine. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, it's so lovely. I wish you could see it. Again, rippling forward from the base of the spine, rolling forward, rippling. Head is the last thing to go down. And then rolling on up, coming back up. We're going to do one more of these big ripples. A big community of seaweed is happening. And forward, diving forward, reaching forward, rippling forward. Each vertebrae a precious pearl, and then rolling up. Good. Stretching the fingers forward and up towards the sky. Again, stretching long. Palms come together, and exhale, the fingers come down to the heart center. And then if you can, go ahead and put on your binoculars and take a look around the room. This is your opportunity to look around. So you're reaching out, taking in the different colors, taking in the different faces, noticing new contours, and then coming back up. Good. We're going to do one more big, juicy, lush breath in, up. Let the body spread into space. Bring that down and rest, feeling the head floating up towards the clouds and the feet deep in the heart of the earth, and the spine is just a plant in between. Great. Oh, that was so beautiful. We have time for one more little item. Would you like to join us? Yeah? One more little thing. So while they're setting up, I want to mention this is not intended as a therapy, although obviously movement is beneficial and everyone has different responses to the classes. And there's definitely studies coming out that are saying, yes, it's a great thing to do. But it's for enjoyment, it's for connection, it's for pleasure, and for diving into your body in a way that feels meaningful. So grounding down, I know we haven't warmed up fully, so find some space. Eddie, do you want to grab this area over here? You could use the chair as you like. So fill in the space. Come on forward, June. Wonderful. Nice. Sorry. All right, so dancers, finding your ground, finding your length and your width. This poem is called The Swan, and we collaborated in creating it. So, did you see see it? Drifting all night on the black river. Did you see it in the morning, rising into the silvery air, an armful of white blossoms, a perfect commotion of silk and linen, as it leaned into the bondage of its wings? A snowbank, a bank of lilies, biting into the air with its black beak. Did you hear it? Fluting and whistling a shrill, dark music, like the rain pelting the trees, like a waterfall, knifing down the black ledges. And did you see it? Finally, just under the clouds, a white cross streaming across the sky. Its feet like black leaves, its wings like the stretching light of the river. And did you feel it in your heart? How it pertained to everything. Go to your people, your little clumps, Ramon and Eddie, Dolores. And did you feel it in your heart? How it pertained to everything, stretching up into the sky, and then coming down low to touch the ground, the earth, or whatever is there, and coming back into home. And reaching up to touch the universe. And have you two finally figured out what beauty is for? And down. And reaching out. And back home. And have you finally figured out what beauty is for? And have you changed your life? Yay! Okay, so thank you for letting us rehearse with you and share. I thought we could have any questions could be asked also of the participants. This is actually just a pretty small group. There's actually, I think, up to 40 to 45 people who come in and out. And the Parkinson's Institute is graciously thinking of adding a second class. So if you're interested, please inquire. Yes. It's on Tuesdays at 10:30. It's an hour and a half.
So 10:30 to noon
On Tuesdays, and it's quite full right now, so we're thinking of adding a second class. But you're, of course, always welcome to come. But are there any questions? Yes. Anyone, yes.
How does the choreography, the movements get first created and second, integrated so that it looks so, because that was just beautiful.
Yeah, they are beautiful. Yeah, when we've been working together for quite a while. I read this poem of Mary Oliver's. We thought about it, we talked about it, and then I read each line, and people would sort of
think of what movement would be possible with that line, how that line landed or resonated with them, and then we would put that into the choreography. So it was collaborative. Any other questions?
Is there a fee for the class?
No, the Mark Morris program wants this to be available for anyone. So right now the classes are free due to some very generous support from the Parkinson's Institute and different foundations. Is there anything else we can answer for you? Okay, thank you for dancing with us today.